Hi there. Today we're going to talk about how to increase your self-worth or self-esteem. And I'm going to share with you one simple technique or tool that you can use that will help boost your self-esteem more than anything else that I know about or know of. So if you've watched some of our other videos, you know that we talk about how everything we do for a reason, or we wouldn't do it. And we also talk about how our beliefs drive our behavior. So our beliefs influence everything that we do. So our beliefs about ourselves, our self-worth, and who we are as an individual influences everything about our life. It influences our relationships. It influences all of our behaviors and our actions. And one of the things that, through my experience, that I have found is I believe that all of us struggle to a certain extent with self-esteem or with our self-worth. Even people who oftentimes come across or appear to be supremely or very, very confident, oftentimes that's a mask that they put out to cover up feelings of insecurity or inferiority. So as human beings, I believe we all struggle with those feelings of self-worth. You know, and there's a couple of reasons for this. We live in a society today that everything that we do and everything that happens in our life and in the lives of others can be put on social media and out for everybody to see. And there's so much of this feeling of, in order to be okay, we need to be like other people. And oftentimes we just feel like we're not able to live up to or to meet those expectations that society and that others have of us as individuals. And here's the problem. Self-esteem and self-worth is an inside job. It comes from within, not from without. So anytime that we are trying to live up to others' expectations, we're never going to be successful with that because others' expectations are always changing. And the truth is, we can never know for sure if we're meeting others' expectations or not. Many times, because all of us struggle with self-esteem, we tend to feel better about ourselves, or to feel like one of the ways that we can increase our self-esteem is by being better than those around us. So because of this, there's a comparison always going on. But then there are also people that, in order to feel good about themselves, will intentionally put other people down. Now, sometimes that happens with people who actually respect or look up to the person that they're putting down. But again, in order to feel better about themselves, they want to belittle them or diminish some of who they are or what they do so that they can feel better about themselves. So the best way, or the best thing that we can do to increase our own self-esteem and our own self-worth is, first of all, to be true to ourselves, to figure out who we are, to identify what is our uniqueness, what are the strengths, the talents, the abilities that we have that nobody else has. Because the truth is, there is nobody in the world that is exactly like you. We're all different. And too often we want to be like everybody else instead of just allowing us to be ourselves. So the next thing that affects how we see ourselves in a negative way is every one of us are imperfect. And so we all make mistakes. And when we make those mistakes, or we don't live up to our own expectations, then we tend to feel bad about ourselves and compare the worst part about us to what we see as being the best part of others. So here's the tool. Here's the thing that you can do that will help you begin to feel better about yourself. And it's just making and keeping commitments to yourself. Now think about it. Do you do a better job of keeping the commitments that you make to you, or do you do a better job of keeping the commitments that you make to others? Most of us tend to do a better job of keeping the commitments that we make to others because we worry more about what they think about us than what we think of ourselves. And yet self-esteem really comes from how we see ourselves. And so to begin to improve our self-worth or our self-esteem, one, we need to begin to pay attention to the words that we use, the commitments that we make to ourselves and to others. So think about the goals and ideas or things that you have said to yourself, like, I'm going to lose weight this year, or I'm going to get an A in this class, or I'm going to learn to manage my anger better, or whatever it is. We will make promises or commitments to ourselves, and then other things come up and get in the way, and that commitment becomes less important. It takes a back seat to other things, and we don't follow through with that commitment. What that is telling us inside is that I don't value myself. I don't have enough value to keep the commitment that I make to me. That affects our self-worth and our self-esteem more than anything else. So one of the best ways to make and keep commitments to ourselves is by setting daily goals. And we can start with something small. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be anything. But what is important is when we set a daily goal, we need to complete it. We need to fulfill it. It would be better for us not to set the goal than to set a goal and not complete it. So I would encourage you to, first of all, take some time, look at where you're at in your life. And ideally, if you can identify what some of your major goals are, what is it that you want to accomplish in your life? So we have another video that's recorded if you want to know more about that, where you can look about how to create change in your life and how to actually accomplish major goals and make a big difference in your life. But if you have some goals of things that you want to change and that you want to accomplish, well, first of all, identify and get those real clear as to what they are, and then back it down and say, okay, what can I do today that will help me move closer to that goal? And pick one thing, whether that's making a phone call or looking something up on the internet or taking one simple step. Maybe it's going for a walk. You decide what that is, but just pick one thing and then make sure that you accomplish that one thing. And then each day do that. And as you do that, you will begin to see that you trust yourself more, you value yourself more, you begin to value your word. And as you hold yourself accountable and live up to the expectations that you're setting for yourself, the byproduct of that is that your behavior with others will change as well. And you'll begin to not only feel better about yourself internally, but because of your ability to follow through and keep your commitments to yourself, you will do that more with other people. And that feedback coming to you will also benefit you and help strengthen the way you see yourself and feel yourself, and ultimately the outcomes that you're experiencing in your life. So the best way, the simplest way to increase your self-worth and your self-esteem is to begin making, and then more importantly, keeping commitments to yourself, and do it on a daily basis, and watch and see how that transforms your life. So thanks for watching today. I'd love to hear how my suggestions today have helped you. Share with me what your goals are and what your experience has been as you have set some daily goals or action steps and gone out and accomplished those, and let me know what that's done for you. And if you'd like to know more about who we are and what we do, visit our website. You'll see it listed below.